11 hours before kickoff, my pregame video is here, finally. A little later than I would have liked it, but sometimes shit just gets away from you a little bit. And sometimes you find yourself looking up at the clock and it's 11 p.m. on Saturday and you haven't made your pregame video yet. But here it is. We're going to Pittsburgh, boys. We're going to Pittsburgh, a place that we have not won in for a long time. We might have won there in 2003. I don't remember. We might have won in there before that, but it wasn't after that. I know that. So, this is an interesting one. This is a weird one. Mostly because I don't know what Pittsburgh is right now. I have no idea if that team's going to be good, if they're going to be average, if they're going to be bad, if they're going to be terrible. I feel like all those things are options. I don't feel like they're going to be great. I don't think this is a elite Steelers team, but they might be good. They might be average-ish, and I could see them having the season from hell. Absolutely, they've lost a lot of talent over the last couple years, and it remains to be seen if they've really replaced it. But right away, you're behind the eight ball if you're the Seahawks. You're flying 3,000 miles. You're going out to Pittsburgh, a stadium that's kind of hard to play in. It's not a great field. It's not a something that necessarily. It's not clean. It's not like we travel to Atlanta, and I feel better about that, even though Atlanta has good home field advantage because I like the dome and I like the state of the turf in a place like Atlanta or New Orleans even. But Pittsburgh, it's like that is a rough place to play sometimes, just technically. So that's not my favorite thing. But like I said, we don't know what kind of team we're playing on the other side right now. Roethlisberger is 37 years old, I think, and he could be done. He might be washed up. I think he's been, on the fence for a little while now. This might finally be the year. It might finally be the year where he just doesn't have it anymore. He certainly looked bad last week against New England. You'll give him a bit of a pass for that. It was New England in New England, the first game after they won the Super Bowl. You can let that go a little bit, but he might be over the hill. Juju Smith-Schuster might not be a true number one receiver. He might just have looked like one because he got to play with Antonio Brown. That offensive line, which has been rock solid for a really long time, might have taken a step back this year. And I don't know what we can expect from Pittsburgh this year. So therefore, it's really hard for me to know what to expect from this team. And I already said this in my preseason video before the season started. I really wish we were playing this game in week 12. When Reed's back, when Clowney's at 100%, when Ons is at 100%, and, we figured out what we're doing at the nickel cornerback spot. I would really like that to be the case, but it's not. We're playing this game in week 2, and I don't really feel like we know what we are. Offensively, look, there are a lot of things on offense right now that we like, but that offensive line right now is in a weird spot. And it really all starts with Justin Britt. He's been a guy who's been good for us for a few years now. He's been a solid center ever since, I think, 2014. But all I'm saying is that he got hurt on the first series against the Bengals. And he came out for a minute. He went back in, and he was terrible when he came back in. So Britt has got to prove a little something to me. Britt has got to prove that, it was just his knee was a little messed up, and that's why he played so bad in that game, because I'll tell you right now, if Justin Britt plays that bad for the rest of the season, we are going nowhere. Nowhere. Not nothing. And if what we saw last week was Justin Britt signaling that he's not a good player anymore, that, his time has just passed by, then we're not going nowhere. So he's got to prove that he's healthy and that he's capable of playing good when healthy. Effetti took a step back last week, so he's got to take that step forward this week. Bhupati, he still showed up on the injury report this week. He did practice and he is going to play, but he's got to prove to me that he can actually execute against another NFL team in a real live game situation. And, even Dwayne Brown didn't play very good against the Bengals. Nobody on that offensive line, except for DJ Fluker, is somebody who we have complete trust in right now. Everybody else, they're hurt. They might not be very good. We don't. They're old. We don't know. And Pittsburgh, like every other team in the league, they have guys that will punish you for bad offensive line play. They have T.J. Watt. Just off the top of my head, T.J. Watt had like 13 and a half sacks last year. He can get after the quarterback. And if Dwayne Brown and Jermaine Ifedi don't hold up their ends, it's going to be ugly. There's nothing else to say other than it is going to be ugly. So that's the offense for me. I'm watching the offensive line. They have to take a step forward against a good Steelers front. And if they do, I think we're going to be okay on offense. Defensively, we got some problems. Number one, the obvious, Poona Ford out. I think, he's doubtful. I don't think he's going to play. Tedrick Thompson, doubtful. I mean, look, I'm down on Tedrick right now like everyone else in the world, but I really don't think Delano Hill's any better. Maybe he's a tiny bit better, but not by much. Nico Thorpe, doubtful. Special teams gunner, but he was an option at cornerback. Probably not playing tomorrow. And Ziggy Ansah, questionable. I think he's going to play, but I'll believe it when I see it. LJ Collier is in, so that's a little spot of good news. Quentin Jefferson showed up on the injury report on Thursday, but he's ready to go, so that's good news. But here's my thing, and this is the thing that might hold us back until maybe, hopefully, we can figure this out by October. We can't play nickel. And, I mean, against the Bengals, and you probably read some think pieces about this already, but that was the number one thing that was hurting our defense. The Bengals would go 3 wide receiver, and we would stay with 3 linebackers. We would have Kendricks or KJ Wright trying to guard a wide receiver because, I mean, look, Pete Carroll tried to spin it as saying, we wanted to stop the run. We wanted 3 linebackers on the field because we wanted to stop the run. But I'm not totally buying what he's trying to sell me, because to me, we were very clearly doing it because we don't know what we're doing at nickel cornerback. We know we got Shaq, we know we got Trey, but after that, Thorpe got hurt, Amadi got hurt, and we don't know if those guys are ready to play nickelback in the NFL right now anyway, even if they were healthy. We just don't have a guy that we can really lean on right now. We brought back Jamar Taylor this week. I'm not having a ton of confidence that he's the guy. And if you go down the roster, you'll find guys like Akeem King, which, okay, I'll give him a chance, but he's certainly not anything special. It's just, that is the number one thing for me right now on this team. We need to figure out what we're doing at nickel cornerback so we can play 3 cornerback sets, because the Bengals threw for 400 yards against us, and a big reason why was because we were staying in base defense. And Pete Carroll can celebrate the fact that we stopped the run against the Bengals all he wants to. Bengals don't care. Bengals just wanted to move the ball, and they did. We were lucky that they messed up in the red zone a couple times. They turned it over. They missed a field goal. They kicked field goals. They actually, I don't think, had a red zone touchdown the whole game. And because of that, we won. But we're playing a slightly better quarterback, at least, this week. We're playing a slightly better offense, at least. They might be a lot better. I don't know. We'll know more in a month. But that offense is better than the Bengals' offense, as far as we know. The Bengals didn't even have A.J. Green. And if the game plan against the Steelers in Pittsburgh is stay in base defense to stop the run and let them throw for 450 yards on us, we're not going to win. So that is the key to this game. We need to go to 3 cornerbacks, whoever the third cornerback is. If it's Amadi, it's Amadi. If it's Akeem King, it's Akeem King. If it's Nico Thorpe, it's Nico Thorpe. Whoever it is, they need to execute and prove that they belong out there. I like Michael Kendricks. I do. He's a great player, and I'm happy to have him on board. He did some good stuff against the Bengals, but you cannot play 3 linebackers 90% of your plays in the NFL and expect anything good to happen anymore. Too many teams have too many wide receivers out on the field at any given time. So, yeah, I'm going to be irritated if the game plan tomorrow is let the Steelers pass on you and just try to stop the run. That's completely ass backwards. So at the end of the day, I'm kind of expecting us to drop this game. I don't feel great about it. We're just, again, if we played this team in week 10, I think we would take care of business. I think we would get the win. Right now, we're having a little bit of an identity crisis at a couple places. The offensive line hasn't totally gelled, and the defensive line doesn't have all their guys, so we're not getting as much quarterback pressure as we should. And the nickel cornerback spot is like, what are we doing? And that I didn't even mention Tedrick, what we're doing at free safety, because Tedrick ain't it. And I don't think Delano Hill is it either. All right. One thing I'll say is that one thing I know about this Seahawks team based off the last 7 years is we're going to give ourselves a chance. We're going to go into Pittsburgh. We're going to be feeling it. We're going to go out there. We're going to, it might be ugly. It might be frustrating to watch. I might throw things. I might be pissed off through a lot of the game, but I do believe this team will do things to give themselves a chance to win at the end, because week in and week out for the last 7 years, we just do. But look, wins and losses are the only thing that matter right now. Ugly wins, bring it on. Attractive losses, save that for later in the season. But yeah, gun to my head, I don't think we're going to win this game, but if that offensive line figures it out and plays better than they did against the Bengals, I think we'll score. I think we can score on anyone. It's just, my question is, can we get something from a nickelback on this team? All right, peace out. I'll make a video after the game tomorrow. Go Hawks. Let's get this done.